Welcome to this SQL and Database Fundamentals Study Guide, part 1 of 4 from TestMole.com, where employers can test candidates and teams using pre-built or custom assessments. We also create free tests and guides like this. Please help us by liking this video. Subscribe for more study guides and free tests. And turn on notifications. Okay, let's begin. What does the R in RDBMS stand for? A relational database management system, RDBMS, is the foundation for most modern enterprise applications. It organizes data into structured tables consisting of rows, records, and columns, attributes. The relational aspect refers to the ability to define relationships between these tables using keys, ensuring data integrity and reducing redundancy. Possible answers are A. Rapid, B. Relational, C. Redundant, D. Regional. The answer is B. Relational is the standard term for systems based on the relational model. Rapid, redundant, and regional are not technical classifications for database management systems. Which keyword is used to extract data from a database? The select statement is the primary command in SQL used to retrieve data from one or more tables. It acts as the query engine's entry point, allowing you to specify exactly which columns you want to view and from which source. Possible answers are A. Get, B. Extract, C. Select, D. Open. The answer is C. Select is the reserved SQL keyword for data retrieval. Get, extract, and open are not valid SQL commands for querying table data. In a select statement, which symbol is used to select all columns from a table? When you want to retrieve every column from a table without listing them individually, you use the asterisk, wildcard. This is shorthand for all columns and is commonly used in exploratory queries or when the full record structure is required. Here are the options. A. %, B. C**, D. #. The answer is C. The asterisk is the universal SQL symbol for all columns. The other symbols listed are either used for pattern matching, %, or are not standard SQL operators for column selection. Which clause is used to filter records based on a specific condition? The where clause is essential for narrowing down results. It acts as a gatekeeper, evaluating each row against a logical condition. Only rows that evaluate to true are included in the final result set. It is applied before any grouping occurs. Possible answers are A. Filter, B. Where, C. Having, D. If. The answer is B. Where is the standard clause for row-level filtering. Filter and if are not SQL keywords for this purpose, and having is specifically used to filter aggregated data after a group by clause. Which keyword is used to sort the result set in descending order? By default, SQL sorts results in ascending order. To change this, you append the desk keyword to the order by clause. This is particularly useful for identifying top-performing records, such as the highest sales or the most recent timestamps. Possible answers are A. Sort, B. Desk, C. Down, D. Order. The answer is B. Desk is the specific keyword for descending order. Sort and down are not valid SQL keywords, and order is part of the clause syntax, not the direction modifier. Which of the following are common SQL data types for storing text? Select all that apply. SQL provides several data types to handle character strings, each serving different storage needs. Char and stores fixed-length strings. If you define char 10 and store high, it pads the remaining 8 spaces. Varchar and stores variable-length strings. It only uses the space required for the actual data plus a small overhead, making it more efficient for varying text lengths. Text, designed for large blocks of text that exceed the capacity of standard character fields, such as long descriptions or articles. In contrast, integer is a numeric data type used for whole numbers, not text. Let's review the options. A. Varchar, B. Text. C. Char. D. Integer. The answer is A, B, and C. Varchar, text, and char are all standard SQL types for character data. Integer is excluded because it is strictly for numeric values. Which operator is used to search for a specified pattern in a column? The like operator is used in a where clause to search for a specified pattern in a column. It is frequently used with wildcard characters. Percent represents 0, 1, or multiple characters. Represents a single character. For example, where name like A% finds all names starting with a. Possible answers are A. Match, B. Like, C. Search, D. Find. The answer is B. Like is the standard SQL operator for pattern matching. Match, search, and find are not valid SQL keywords for filtering data in this context. Which SQL statement is used to add new data to a table? To populate a database table with new information, you use the insert into statement. The syntax typically follows this structure. This ensures that data is mapped correctly to the intended columns. Let's review the options. A. Add new. B. Update. C. Insert into. D. Append. The answer is C. Insert into is the correct command for adding new rows. Update modifies existing data, while add new and append are not valid SQL commands for this purpose. What happens if you omit the where clause in an update statement? The where clause acts as a filter for the update statement. It specifies which rows should be modified. If you omit this clause, the database engine assumes you intend to apply the change to every single row in the table. This is a common source of data loss or corruption, so it is best practice to always verify your where clause before executing an update. Here are the options. A. Only the first record is updated. B. All records in the table will be updated. C. The statement will throw an error. D. No records will be updated. The answer is B. Omitting the where clause removes the filter, causing the update to apply globally to every row. It does not throw an error, nor does it affect only the first record. How do you test for empty values null in a where clause? In SQL, null represents the absence of a value. It is not the same as an empty string or zero. Because null is a state rather than a value, standard comparison operators like equals or equals do not work. Instead, SQL requires the specific is null or is not null syntax to check for the presence or absence of data. Choose between A. Where column equals null. B. Where column is null. C. Where column equals null. D. Where column empty. The answer is B. Null is the required syntax because null is a state, not a value. Using equals, equal symbol, or not equals is not equal to sign, with null will result in an unknown evaluation rather than a true or false result. What is the basic unit of storage in a relational database, consisting of rows and columns? In relational database management systems, RDBMS, data is organized into a structured format. The table acts as the fundamental container for data, structured as a grid of horizontal rows, records, and vertical columns, attributes. Rows represent individual instances or entities. Columns define the specific data types or properties for those entities. Think of a database as a filing cabinet where each table is a specific folder containing related information. Here are the options. A. Database. B. Table. C. Field. D. Query. The answer is B. A table is the primary storage structure for data in a relational database. A database is the collection of tables, a field is a single cell or attribute within a row, and a query is a request for data, not a storage unit. Which SQL keyword is used to remove records from a table? SQL provides specific commands to manage data lifecycle. When you need to remove specific records while keeping the table structure intact, you use the delete statement, often paired with a where clause to target specific rows. Delete removes rows based on conditions. Drop deletes the entire table structure and its data. Truncate removes all rows from a table quickly, resetting identity counters, but keeps the table structure. Let's review the options. A. Remove. B. Drop. C. Delete. D. Truncate. The answer is C. Delete is the standard DML command for removing specific rows. Drop and truncate are DDL commands that affect the entire table structure or storage allocation, while remove is not a valid SQL keyword. Which function returns the number of rows that match a specified criterion? Aggregation functions allow you to perform calculations on sets of data. The count function is essential for reporting and analytics as it tallies the number of rows that satisfy your query conditions. Count counts all rows, including those with nulls. Count column name counts only non-null values in that specific column. Possible answers are A. Sum, B. Count, C. Number, D. Total. The answer is B. Count is the standard SQL function for tallying rows. Sum calculates a total of numeric values, while number and total are not standard SQL aggregation functions. The between operator is used to select values within a range. Is the end value included in the result? The between operator simplifies filtering data within a specific range. It is shorthand for using equals and equals operators. For example, where age between 18 and 25 will return records where the age is 18, 25, or any value in between. Because it is inclusive, both the start and end boundaries are captured in the result set. Possible answers are A. Yes, it is inclusive. B. No, it is exclusive. The answer is A. The between operator is inclusive by design in standard SQL, meaning it includes both the start and end values specified in the range. Which keyword is used to return only different, unique values? When querying data, you often encounter duplicate entries. The distinct keyword is used in a select statement to filter out these duplicates, ensuring that each returned value is unique. This is particularly useful when generating lists of categories or unique identifiers from a column that contains many repeated entries. Here are the options. A. Unique. B. Distinct. C. Different. D. Only. The answer is B. Distinct is the correct SQL keyword for removing duplicates from a result set. Unique is a constraint used during table creation, while different and only are not valid SQL keywords for this purpose. What is the standard character used to separate each SQL statement? In SQL, the semicolon, winky face, serves as the standard statement terminator. It acts as a clear signal to the database management system that one command has ended and another may begin. While some database systems allow you to omit the semicolon if you are only running a single query, it is considered best practice to include it, especially when executing multiple statements in a single script. Choose between A, B, C, D. The answer is C. The semicolon is the universal delimiter for SQL statements. Commas, periods, and colons serve different purposes in SQL, such as separating column names or accessing schema objects, rather than terminating the command itself. What does the AND operator allow you to do? The AND operator is a shorthand for multiple OR conditions. Instead of writing where column equals A or column equals B or column equals C, you can simply write where column A, B, C. This makes your code cleaner, more readable, and easier to maintain when dealing with long lists of values. Possible answers are A. Insert a new column. B. Specify multiple values in a where clause. C. Create a subdatabase. D. Include null values only. The answer is B. The AND operator simplifies filtering by allowing a list of values in a where clause. It does not perform structural changes like inserting columns or creating databases, nor is it specifically restricted to null handling. Which keyword is used to give a table or a column a temporary name? Aliases are temporary names assigned to tables or columns to make query results more readable or to simplify complex joins. The AS keyword is used to define these aliases. For example, select customer name AS name renames the output column, while from customers AS C allows you to refer to the table as C throughout the query. The options are A. Name, B. Alias, C. As, D. Set. The answer is C. AS is the standard SQL keyword for aliasing. Name, alias, and set are not valid keywords for renaming columns or tables in a select or from clause. What is the purpose of the not null constraint? Constraints are rules applied to table columns to ensure data integrity. The not null constraint prevents a column from accepting empty or missing values. When this constraint is applied, any attempt to insert a new row or update an existing one without providing a value for that column will result in an error, ensuring that critical data is always present. Possible answers are A. It forces a column to only contain numbers. B. It ensures that a column cannot have a null value. C. It hides the column from the user. D. It makes the column the primary key. The answer is B. The not null constraint strictly enforces data presence. It is unrelated to data types, like numbers, visibility, or the definition of a primary key, which is a separate constraint. Which of the following are parts of SQL? Select all that apply. SQL is composed of several sublanguages that categorize commands based on their purpose. DDL, data definition language used to define or modify the structure of database objects, e.g., create, alter, drop. DML, data manipulation language used to manage the data within those structures, e.g., select, insert, update, delete. DCL, data control language used to manage access and permissions, e.g., grant, revoke. TCL, transaction control language used to manage transactions, e.g., commit, rollback. Choose between A. DDL, data definition language. B. DML, data manipulation language. C. DCL, data control language. D. DVL, data visualization language. The answer is A, B, and C. DDL, DML, and DCL are the core functional categories of SQL. DVL, data visualization language, is not a recognized sublanguage of SQL. Visualization is typically handled by external reporting tools. Which data type would you use to store a price like 19.99 with fixed precision? When working with financial data, accuracy is paramount. Floating point types, like float or real, use binary approximations, which can introduce tiny rounding errors unacceptable for currency. Instead, use fixed point types. Decimal/numeric. These store numbers exactly as written, ensuring that calculations like 19.99 plus 0.01 result in exactly 20.00 without precision loss. When defining these, you typically specify precision, scale, where precision is the total number of digits and scale is the number of digits after the decimal point. Choose between A. Integer, B. Decimal or numeric, C. Varchar, D. Boolean. The answer is B. Decimal or numeric are designed for exact precision, whereas integer cannot store decimals. Varchar treats numbers as text, and Boolean only represents true/false states. The AND operator is a logical filter used in the where clause to narrow down results. It acts as a strict gatekeeper. For a row to be returned, every condition linked by and must evaluate to true. Refer to the diagram on screen. If even one condition is false or unknown, null, the entire expression fails. Let's review the options. A or B and C both. D plus. The answer is B. And requires all conditions to be met, while OR is inclusive of any condition. Both and plus are not valid SQL logical operators for filtering rows. Which SQL operator displays a record if any of the conditions separated by it are true? The OR operator provides flexibility in queries. It returns a record if at least one of the specified conditions is satisfied. Think of it as an additive filter. If you search for where status equals active or priority equals high, you will receive every record that is active, every record that is high priority, and records that are both. Here are the options. A and B or C any. D either. The answer is B. OR returns a record if any condition is true, and requires all conditions to be true, while any and either are not standard SQL operators for this purpose. Which command is used to add a column to an existing table? The alter table statement is the standard data definition language (DDL) command used to modify the structure of an existing table. To add a new column, you combine it with the ADD keyword. Alter table name ADD column name date type. This command allows you to evolve your database schema without needing to drop and recreate the entire table. Let's review the options. A. Update table. B. Modify table. C. Alter table. D. Change table. The answer is C. Alter table is the correct command for schema modification. Update is for changing data within rows, while modify, change, and table are not valid commands for adding columns. How does the unique constraint differ from a primary key? Both unique and primary key enforce data integrity by preventing duplicate values in a column, but they serve different architectural roles. Feature primary key unique. Quantity only one per table, multiple per table. Nulls not allowed, usually. Purpose identifies the row, prevents duplicates. Because a table represents a single entity, the primary key acts as the unique identifier for that entity, while unique constraints are used for secondary fields like email addresses or usernames. The options are: A. A table can have multiple unique columns but only one primary key. B. A primary key can have null values, but unique cannot. C. Unique is only for text data types. D. They are identical in every way. The answer is A. A table is limited to one primary key, but can have many unique constraints. Primary keys cannot contain nulls, and unique constraints are not restricted to text. Thanks for watching. With TestMole.com, you get everything in one place, from easy candidate invites and role-based access, to deep analytics and built-in anti-cheat mechanics. We'll assess code answers, free text responses, and issue verified certificates. Ready to simplify your hiring? Give TestMole a try. And one more thing. If you like this video and want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe.